Daddy Mountain. Weirdness, I will destroy you. Do you understand that? When you start to manually think about a process that you're doing automatically, then it's like if you were still like the car's still running. You also fuck boy, but you stopped, like you pulled over to the side of the road. As done from tilling the fields. Fuck. Engine's still running, and then you had someone move the. Hello, welcome in everyone. Lo-fi's not working and fixed. All right. How are we doing, everybody? Otis, that's amazing, buddy, for real. Honestly, very much, very huge congratulations. Oh, I fucking did it wrong. Womp. There. There, I should have fixed the chat. So yeah, we're going to be having Renn on the show today. Very exciting. Something I've been looking forward to for a very long time. Renn's a good buddy of mine. We'll talk all about Renn and how them and I know each other, and I think it's going to be a real hoot. But before we get underway, we're just going to hang out for a little while. I know Renn is wrapping up their stream and coming in with their awesome community. And I'm probably going to sing the whole song, the whole raid song. Just you know, just for Renn. Just for Renn and their awesome ass community. But yeah, today's going to be a hell of a show. I'm very excited to do this today. Hi, Koji. Welcome in. Oh, I forgot. I got to turn on a bunch of my redeems that are all turned off. No, all the big ones are on still. Hello, Must Feed. Welcome in. Welcome in. You know what I need to do? I need to turn off my my mirror. There we go. That way, when I look this way towards my microphone to talk, it'll be pointed at Renn. But yeah, we're gonna have a nice chill day. I got a lot of really good questions to hit Renn with. I think we're gonna get the coveted "How did you know that?" from Renn. I'm really excited for that. Just remember, my Leap Motion tracker wasn't working, so I'm sitting here gesticulating to nobody. That's fun. But ants? Yeah. All right. But welcome in, Ert. Here they are. The greatest adventure is what lies ahead. Today and tomorrow are yet to be said. The chances, the changes are all yours to make. The mold of your life is in your hands to break. The greatest adventure is there if you're bold. Let go of the moment that life makes you hold. To measure the meaning can make you delay. It's time you stop thinking and wasting the day.
Kamuikushi gifted a tier 1 sub to Renn.
Welcome.
This is their first gift sub in the channel.
Is this from the Prince of Egypt? No. This is from the Rankin Bass Hobbit movie. It's the Greatest Adventure song. Okay. Okay. What? What do you want?
Okay, bye.
Give me your video or whatever the fuck. Yes. Hi, how you doing, dear?
Hi.
Holy
Kamui
shit,
Kushi
Kamui.
gifted a tier 1 sub to Bootleg Bard.
Let's go!
Kamui, that's so much.
Kamui Kushi gifted a tier 1 sub to Vasillant
Also,
Varlo.
is calling it
Insanely based.
Kamui Kushi is really funny.
Kamui Kushi gifted a tier
Kamui
1 sub to
Kushi.
Prima_kin.
Call each one.
Kamui Kushi gifted a tier
Yo,
1
you
sub
got
to
that
Isabella
dog
Ooze.
kush.
Sweet dog.
Kamui Kushi gifted a tier 1 sub to Scragglebird.
It's even better because it's Aussie TDS voice. I know. Kamui going. I know.
Kamui Kushi gifted a tier 1 sub to Digging for
So
Nades.
I'm gonna stream my OBS to you so you can hear all the shenanigans.
Kamui Kushi gifted a tier 1 sub to Cake Hunt
Should
3R.
work. And then you need to send me something to represent you on stream.
Kamui Kushi gifted a tier 1 sub to Mere Muse.
Okay, hold on. I will send you.
Kamui Kushi
We
gifted a
will-
tier 1 sub to Thorn Dreadfall.
Oh my god, hearing every single one get named.
Listen, as you can
Kamui
tell, I'm
Kushi
not
gifted a tier
accustomed
1
to
sub to Out_lagged.
like getting a bunch of things. I need
Wait,
to
did
fix
that say Discord lagged?
it. Outlagged.
Outlagged. Alright, hold on. I'm trying to find my little gremlin self, but I can't find that. So instead, why don't we use this very appropriate little Pikmin me?
I almost just said the meme that we've been saying in private, and that's not good. Wait,
In Pikmin.
you just want me to put a still image of you on screen?
Well, I was otherwise I assumed you would use Fugi Tech.
Well,
I
assumed
can't be
you-
chroma keyed. I'm rainbow. I can't be chroma keyed. It's impossible.
You're so obnoxious. I can't believe this.
What?
See, this is the problem.
I'm so
This is the problem with
sorry
pride.
that I'm gay. I apologize.
Just-
Oh my god.
Ugh, pick a color palette is all I'm asking.
I'm going to when I get my new outfit. I'm gonna have a fixed palette.
Wow.
You'll see.
A fixed palette? What's wrong with your current palette?
Yeah.
Can you swallow
You
okay?
just. Oh my god. Mm.
Listen, I just care about you and I want to make sure that you're doing okay.
I'm being bullied.
No,
I've been here for 30 seconds
I'm,
and I'm being bullied.
I'm doting.
Uh-huh. Here, I can send you my Fugi if
I
that
got it.
works better.
I found you.
Okay. Okay.
How did I get here? All right, I just have to make a new one.
Mm-hmm. You don't just have a Fugi tech source in this scene.
Not on this scene because
like,
most of the
permanently-
time, people.
Permanently made because you're constantly interviewing people on this specific scene, so it makes sense.
It happens
that
once
you
a
should-
month.
You should have it on there
Uh-huh.
because it's not like anything's gonna change, and you could just
Right.
hide the source and make it unload. If someone, if you don't have anybody with you in the scene,
Right. Yeah, which is something that I do, in fact, often do. But generally when we have people on the show, they want to use their model. So I
don't know how to cast live 2D other than the OBS Ninja, and I know that will be a very fun trial for you.
and, listen, if you could listen, I know people pay a lot of.
Oh,
What?
I haven't. Wait, no, I can do it. I have a genius idea. I will simply be a dog.
Okay.
Hold on.
Also, Frigga and Hibiki, thank you two very much for the follows. Welcome on into the mountain home, and welcome the rest of the Renn. I almost just called you by your old name, the old ways. We are going to talk about that, by the way. I'm looking forward to it. Accidente, thank you very much for the follow as well. And to the 10 people, the 11 people that Kamui gifted to, congratulations on no longer just being, random people welcome here in the channel, but now employed in this fine mountain home. So grab your pickaxes and get back to work. With a pupper pack, you're something, Paper. Elaborate Joy Boy, thank you very much for the follow as well.
That's the nicest thing I've ever heard Paper described as.
What? Something?
Yeah, that's a really nice way to put it.
She's a very nice stack of something.
Kamui Kushi gifted a tier 1 sub to Frigga Loves You. They
Get
have
to
given
work.
12 gift
Yeah,
subs in the
Frigga,
channel.
grab your pickaxe and get back to work, fuck boy.
Okay.
Yes. What do you have for me?
Hold on. No audio. Okay. Start. Okay. And then I got the linky for you, and then you want a magenta chroma key it. That should work. Magenta, there shouldn't be any issues with magenta, but you can't blue or green screen it because I have my green eye and my blue face, my blue tongue.
I know, I still have the titty mouse pad.
Yeah.
Which
How
I
are
offered.
my titties treating your wrist?
I haven't been using it. I keep trying to hoist it off onto my wife to use, and I'm like, listen, it would make my friend Renn very happy if you used the titty mouse pad, because then I could tell them that you use it, and they'd be like, hell yeah, I got woman wrist on my hand, on my boobies.
Hell yeah! Here, I made myself a little bigger.
And then we gotta adjust the filter. So, you know, I know that you guys are accustomed to a lot of these types of shenanigans over at Renn's, and it's the same here. I'm not gonna pretend I'm not better. How canon tall are you in this state?
I don't think I actually have thought about that.
Doesn't even know the lore.
What?
Chatters?
I'm a dog! I can't measure! I don't even know what inches are.
Alright, so we're gonna put you on the table.
Okay.
I'm gonna make you little.
I gotta give you my beans. I gotta give you the beans. The beans. Hi, everybody. Hello. You might want to adjust it slightly because I appear to be semi-transparent.
I figured that was I figured that was ideal, but yeah, I can work with that. Hold on. We go back into the chroma. In case you guys wanted to learn about
It's desaturated me. Oh, there we go. Yay! I'm colorful. No, please.
I don't feel so good,
Don't
Mr.
put me
Silverstone.
into the dark, please, Horatius. I don't want to go back.
Aw.
Please.
It'll be okay, hon.
No.
Snip that. Oh, snap that bitch. I thought you said snip, and I was like, that's fucked up.
That's horrible.
Hello.
Also, why the fuck are you asleep? Get out of here, Paper. I hate you.
Paper has been very sweet, and her and I have been talking this morning. They're a delight. Shoutouts to Paper.
That's definitely a thing you could say about her. I don't know if it's something I would say.
Okay, that's all right. You're allowed to. All right. So, you ready? You ready, Renn? You ready to do this shit? Okay.
Yes.
Fuck you. You know what? For that, Paper, I think you're gonna temporarily get a gem.
What?
Yeah, I think.
Are you kidding me?
Look, I don't have a gem on your channel.
Do you not?
No.
Oh, oops.
No, it's fine. I don't know. I'm not gonna beg.
I forgot.
No, it's fine.
Don't worry. I'll just take the one away from Paper and give it back to you. She got a gem. She loses it somewhere else. Everyone who VIPs Paper means I ban her for like 24 hours.
That's understandable. That's understandable.
What?
Renn hates dwarves. That's true. That's true.
Yep.
About that though, let's go into our history a little bit. I think it's a really fun story. So, okay, for those of you all who don't know, Renn and I have known each other for an impressive amount of time for VTubers. When I first got into VTubing, I got into it because I saw this cute little like pink-haired pixie person talking shit on PragerU on YouTube. And that was the push that gave me the idea of like, fuck, I could do this. And that was Pixie Explains. And so I met Pixie very, very early. I like literally approached Pixie and was like, hey, like I'm getting into streaming and I just want to let you know that you were the inspiration for me to start streaming as a VTuber. And she was so sweet about it. So I started to ingratiate myself into Pixie's community and the Stream Hearts, which is rest in peace.
Yeah.
And then Renn, at the time, Renn Slayer was one of Pixie's like big community members. And I was firmly under the impression that Renn and I were not friends. I was like, this bitch hates my guts because like we would bump into each other in our chat, and we would just like meh, 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 meh. We would just like snip at each other.
See, I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
I didn't realize we were snipping at each other.
Well, and I wasn't sure
I was
either.
oblivious. I was just like talking. I was just like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Renn hates everyone. That is, you know.
I think that's the default state, Renn. But I think that you.
That's just me. Everyone thinks I'm angry.
Well,
Everyone thinks like, I think streaming is like one of the first times when like I've been in a space where like people have not automatically assumed that I hate them or that I'm angry, which is wild because normally the default assumption of my state of mind and or mood or opinion on a person is that I fucking despise them and I am incredibly pissed off at all times. And I'm usually just like actually just staring off into space, having a moment where I'm, you know, like something.
you're doing great.
I'm doing so good.
But so then fast forward like a year. So like Streamheart sort of defunks, and I don't talk to Renn or see Renn anywhere, and then I literally bump into Renn through pure happenstance. And you recognize me. I don't recognize you because I'd never heard your voice before.
Yeah.
So I'm like in your chat just like saying hey. And you're like, "Oh, Horatius, how have you been?" And I'm like,
The awkward moment where someone recognizes you and you have no idea who the fuck they are.
Because at that point you had changed your name to Renn.
No, I hadn't. It was still Red Slayer.
It was still Red
at
Slayer
that
at the time?
point in
Okay.
Yeah.
I had Dumbledored that out of my brain. And you were like, yeah, from the Street Hearts, from Pixie. I was like, oh. And you're like, it's so good to see it. I'm like, is it?
Is it though?
Like, if it is cool, but like, I didn't think it would be good to see me. So
I thought you were nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real. With my memory, also, I don't remember us talking too often. Like my brain is, as you know, a sponge, meaning it is full of holes and stuff just like falls through it constantly. So I was just like, oh yeah, I remember Horatius.
Yeah.
They're cool.
Not really how sponges work, but
if you poured sand in a sponge, it would go through the holes, Horatius.
but it's an absorb. Never mind.
But it absorbs liquids, not solids.
Absorb this.
Present it.
Willow,
Don't
can I show
challenge
someone
me.
my penis? It's for a bit.
Dear Twitter, today.
Another male VTuber showed me a dick pic. Why can we not get rid of this blight?
Dear Twitter, we must cancel all male VTubers. They
Fucking
must
finally.
be gone.
No, I'm about it because then I'll be the last male VTuber, and that's my goal.
Aren't you like the first male
I
VTuber?
am first
right?
and last.
Yeah. Yep.
I will be the last male VTuber. I will, listen, Cab just announced that he's stepping away from streaming. That's another one down.
Oh my god.
You know, I approached him. I was like, listen, I'm going to capitalize on this. This is going to be me. Like, it's you're stepping away because of me, because I've killed you. And as Highlander rules dictate, I gain your powers.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
I will Valk. I will outlast this entire medium. Because dwarves are a patient folk.
See, I'm not known for patience, but I am known for stubbornness. I think this will be our final battle.
Most likely.
I'm gonna stick it out.
I believe in you. So you ready to get into the shenanigans?
Yes.
All right. Never mind. I can fuck with that later. Okay, stop fidgeting. Just do the show, idiot. All right. So I'm talking to me, not to you.
Oh, okay.
So we had a really awesome experience that we got to share. We both went to Offkai a couple months back, and we got to like talk and like chat and hang out. Like, what was like a highlight of Offkai for you?
We got in and out.
That was pretty good.
Yes. I am also a dog, and I'm completely food motivated.
That's also true.
And the day when we got in and out, I was really hungry. Like I was trying to coordinate because everyone's like, well, what should we get for food? Everyone's being insanely indecisive, and I just went, it. I'm going to In-N-Out.
Yep.
Put your order down, DM it to me on Discord, or you get nothing. I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Yep.
I left. I got like $100 worth of In-N-Out for like something like 9-10 people, right?
Yeah.
And then came back and
was a savior.
Oh, yes. And then I sat down and I was like, no one talk to me. I need to eat.
Right. I did really appreciate finally getting to try In-N-Out. It was my first time, and it was like a solid 7 out of 10. You know, like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Yo, it was the best." No, it wasn't. I'll tell you the best burger I've ever had. It was from a man named Slippy. No, listen, you don't fuck with Slippy. He used to run a little, I'm gonna say food truck, but it was really more of a food trailer. Because, you don't fuck with Slippy, Frigga? Is that what you want? Get that on a shirt. Don't mess with Slippy. And just this, like, old, disgruntled, bald black man, like, with a big wet burger, and he's, like, holding it out towards you. Welcome in, everybody, by the way. It's good to see you all. I'm going to be focusing on my friend Renn today, but I see you guys. I'm reading chat, and you're very funny.
Yeesh.
But, so Slippy in Southeast DC has a food truck that doesn't move because it can't, which is a crime, but everyone likes Slippy, so nobody fuck with him. And his burgers, I would get a double cheeseburger with a single slice of bacon on it, but he had like that thick, wide bacon, like that basically pork belly-esque bacon.
Ooh.
And it was the Slippy special, and it was $4.
Oh my god.
And I got that shit more often than I'd like to admit.
Oh my god. Dude, this sounds just like the food trucks that are at like the one of the local car washes. There's a pretty big one around here, like a really big car wash, and there's a taco truck there. And you know that shit's good because everyone who works at the car wash actually goes and buys the tacos there. And holy god, I have never had a better taco. Like they will just like grab a whole ass half a lime when they bring you out like your 3 little tacos and just like crush the thing in their fist underneath all of the tacos all at once and just pour the lime juice on top, and it's oh
hell yeah.
It's so good that I didn't even mind the weird texture issues of like biting into gristle, which normally is enough to make me like actually spit out food because like the texture issues just drive me nuts. Or like the whole stems of cilantro, I did not care. That stuff tasted so good.
Yep.
Oh my god. And I don't know if they're still there actually because of COVID, but if they are, now I need to go get me some fucking tacos.
Also, I'm a Mura Cross. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome on in. I would realize I was just way too big.
That's a man who wears jeans to bed, by the way. Everyone shame him. Everyone point and shame Ema. Everyone, all of you, you must.
That's a weird decision to just declare how small your peepee is to wear jeans to bed. Because if your peepee not
dude.
if peepee big, jeans in bed are gonna cramp your sausage.
I didn't mean to have the man dragged like this. I just meant to make fun of him again for the fact he wears jeans to bed. I didn't mean to do this. Emo, I'm sorry.
I appreciate you letting me take such a big step in like I'm about to flop it out right. Hell yeah. Sure, dude. Is it like a baby's arm holding an apple? Because I want to see that. Well, today, Renn and Horatius killed a man. I mean, if he puts that up my prostate, I might fucking die.
Destroy!
Wow.
I'm good. I'm okay, actually. I'm fine.
Yeah.
The energy is great. Yes.
This is well, thank you all very much for coming in. This has been a long time coming. I adore Renn, and being able to bounce off of Renn on stream is something I've been looking forward to for a long time. Yes. Because despite how you and I have very different approaches to comedy, I think it works really, really well.
Yes. You know, like going back though to you commenting, where like you were like, is it though? Does Renn hate me? I don't know. This fucker, okay? Hello. Horatius is actually evil because you know me. I'm bad at reading social situations. You want to know Horatius's favorite thing is like when you tell a joke or make a comment to just completely deadpan respond with, "Is it?" And then just let you sit in silence and emotional agony. So there have been so many times I make a joke and Horatius makes a comment like and it sounds like he just was like, "Jesus, Renn, what the fuck is wrong with you?" And I'm like,
Just hit Renn with the Ben Shapiro. Wow.
Yeah, like actually, you do that shit a lot. So I was convinced that you hated me and thought I was annoying and like rude for ages, and I was like trying to make sure you knew I wasn't an asshole. And I was like, wait, well, I don't mean to offend you. I was just trying to be silly. I was just trying to make a joke. I didn't mean to hurt anybody's feelings. You broke comedy down to its bare essentials.
I think Off-Guy was really important for our relationship for that reason. Because, for real, because...
I could see you smiling
exactly.
As you're like sitting there completely deadpan, the same monotone voice, but you're sitting there like...
Right. Because, like, I'm very body language heavy. And just heavy in my body. But my body... my body language is very important to how I, like, interact with people, how I engage. And so I'm sure that sitting across from me, you're like, oh, okay, he's riffing me, but he's clearly having a good time, versus online where there is none of that body language. You're like, what?
Yeah, no, it gives, Horatius gives off hardcore I'm disappointed dad energy at times when I'm like trying to make a joke and I sit there and I'm like, oh.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
I love all of the people blowing out these great sound alerts for today. By the way, can I teach you solitaire sometime? I'll teach you how to play solitaire.
No. If this turns into you trying to get me to learn solitaire, like Kari spending the last like 2 months begging me to let her teach me mahjong, I'm going to rip the cables out of my PC and eat them. I swear to God, I can't take it anymore.
Well, okay, but there's a big difference between solitaire and mahjong. Mahjong is unnecessarily convoluted. I don't care if you play mahjong in chat. You know I'm fucking right. Solitaire is stupid fucking easy. But if you don't want to learn it, that's fine. I just wanted to offer, if you wanted to learn how to play solitaire, I could teach you.
I think my main issue is like, I don't usually play too many card games just because they are a particular struggle for me with my neurological issues. They become incredibly difficult. And like, I can figure out the rules and I can learn how to play, but I cannot metagame. I can't like do the kind of understanding of like, okay, so and so has this many cards in their deck. They've played these things, so like I can't do those kinds of inferences. Yeah, I can't. Well, I can't do the metagame understanding of like what is likely to happen, because that requires me to hold all that information actively in my brain, and I just can't do it.
Now, well,
it's like trying to play Exploding Kittens with my friends is impossible because I always lose and I end up sad.
Do you understand that solitaire is a solo game? It's a game you play by yourself.
I did not know that, actually.
Yeah. Solitaire.
You're gonna need to take that a little slower. I don't understand.
Solo is Latin for single.
Real science.
Okay.
So
right. I put on my glasses so I can be smart.
Solitaire. I'm going to look up the origin of the word before I start saying shit and people start blowing my ass out. But word etymology. Yeah, the Latin
Bread
root.
and an affinity for fathers or
Got to
people who
involve.
know fathers or are friends with fathers.
The Latin root for the heart of this lonely word is solitarius, alone or isolated. Originally, solitaire was a widow, and eventually the word became to mean any solitary person. So, solitaire, the game, is a card game that you can play as a solitaire.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, then maybe I can do that.
yeah, that's why I figured you'd be in.
Wait. Is solitaire the game where you make the cards go in a line in order?
Yeah, in opposing colors from highest to lowest.
Yeah. Okay. No, I know how to play that.
Yeah, that's solitaire.
My mom plays it endlessly on her iPad, and sometimes I try to. I'll like try to help her, and she'll like whack my hand away because I do it wrong.
Yeah.
She'll be like, "No, stop it!" And I'm like, "But I see a painting," and she's like, "But then you'll mess up this next thing," and I'm like, "Oh, oops."
Oh, but you don't bother with pairs of sevens. It's all just like king to 2.
Oh wait, no. Then that's a different one, because the one my mom plays, like, it has a bunch of cards, and you have to like, what is it?
You might be
I
thinking
know
of
you
like
play it by yourself.
you might be thinking of like yeah, king on the corner or spider
No.
solitaire or nerds. Maybe that's like the competitive version of solitaire, which is such a stupid statement that I hate it. But yeah. So yeah, I could. You know what?
Oh no, yeah. Oh, my mom plays spider solitaire.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Because I googled an image and I see exactly the one. Because it looks like this. If I can.
Yeah.
Bam,
No. Yep.
like this. Yeah.
Yep. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I every time I try to help my mom, I do it wrong. I try though.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I'll teach you solitaire. I actually find it really. I like solitaire a lot because for me it's a meditative thing. Talk to Heavenly? No, Heavenly is trying to make nerds a thing, and he's fucking dumb. He likes it, and that's great. I'm happy for his punk ass, but I'll play him at nerds at fucking MagFest and bust his ass out anyway.
See, anytime Heavenly's getting bullied, I'm happy because he's mean to me. He smells. You know, he admitted he likes white Gatorade.
Anyway, next question.
Do you like white Gatorade?
No, I don't like Gatorade at all.
Okay, good. I was thinking we might have to stop being friends.
Where'd you find that thing, Nagi? I don't know. It showed up into my house with like 200 of its friends.
Shut up, Nagi! Also, hi, Nagi. Hello.
Nagi, you'll be here someday. Don't you fret. I could, and it's, you know what's easy? What I love about talking to Nagi is I could just ask Nagi one fucking question, and then that's the whole show. Because Nagi and I will just like take hands on Yellow Brick Road for 3 fucking hours with one question. So I have some hard-hitting questions, and I've already thrown some softballs at you. I think I want to hit you with one of the ones that I think is the most close to the body, and that's, why do you straighten your hair?
Because I don't like it when it's curly, because it frizzles and it gets in my eyes.
Okay.
I mean, I do it a lot less nowadays, but I normally straighten it just because otherwise it gets really unmanageable and I don't like how I look.
Yeah, I mean, I think a pretty fair response, but...
Nowadays, though, now that when it gets short again, I might have to go get it inverse permed. I might have to go get it relaxed. Because while it's long, it doesn't... Yeah, corkscrews right into the eyeballs. I mean, it does. It actually does. Like, it gets scratched. It gets, like, ticklish and itchy because my hair is so light. Like, the strands of my hair are really thin. I've got very fine hair, even though I have a lot of it. So, like, shave it. I might, honestly. But, like, when it's long, it just stays nice and wavy. And it's, like, pretty, and I don't mind it. But when it's really, really short, it just... it drives me nuts. It's why for years I actually intentionally relaxed it. It also, I don't know, it scrunches up it used to scrunch up in a really weird way around my forehead where the curls were like way tighter up there than they were down towards the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just got picky. I just didn't like it.
So
So I force it to behave.
I'm so sorry, Bones. So
What? Why'd you say you're sorry for Bones?
Implicating or implying that you take that same principle about your hair to the people in your life.
Oh, that is true.
Right. So what's how's Streamer House going?
Streamer House is going very well, actually. It's honestly been pretty crazy nice to have Kari here, because like I mean, someone else who's awake at similar hours to me is nice, because like there have been times where like, you know, just like dealing with the dogs has been easier, because Kari will just like come by me like, oh, I can take the dog. And it's also I think been really good for them, the boys, the puppers, because Kari loves going on walks, and Kari's never, like, she's talked about how she's never really had pets in her life because of her allergies.
Yeah.
And like, luckily she's not super allergic to my dogs. Like, we tested that several times before because she's come over. And she loves to take like Leaf on walks with her as she just walks around the neighborhood during the day, which is great for him because he's super happy. He loves her. It's funny because there are times where Kari will just come into my into my office, right? And like go chill in the beanbag chair I have in here. And as soon as she lays down, Leaf will run into this room, sprint up, and jump up onto her lap and like curl up and go to sleep. And I'll just like catch her like falling asleep like halfway through petting Leaf, passed out in the beanbag chair. Because she'll just come in here and hang out with me, or like while I'm streaming, she'll just like chill in here sometimes, and she'll just be petting Leaf and like fall asleep.
Amazing.
But it's been nice. It's been really good to just have like more people in the house who I can talk to, because Bones is usually gone or like asleep when I'm awake. There's like a couple windows where we're awake at the same time.
Right.
But Kari and I are usually mostly on the same schedule, so it's good for me to actually be able to have someone to hang out with and forced to watch my favorite TV shows.
Hell yeah.
She loves them.
So with that, what?
What?
What are you giggling about?
Nothing.
I don't like that.
Does she though? She does like the TV shows, because she started looking up spoilers for one of them because we hadn't watched more episodes in a couple days, and she was asking me a bunch of questions about it, and I'm like, I'm sorry, because it's an Apple TV show, so like she doesn't have an Apple like TV subscription, so she couldn't watch it on her own. But like, because I got her watching Barry, for example, which is a show I love, and if you haven't watched it, you should.
I'm familiar with it. It's very funny.
Yeah, she watched like 1 or 2 episodes with me and Ruru, and then she proceeded to binge watch the entire TV show like the next day. And like after I showed her a couple episodes of Foundation, while she was waiting to be able to watch more episodes with me, she watched a ton of video essays on the original book and the TV show.
Oh my goodness.
So I think it's safe to say that she likes it.
Right. So, talking about significant others, how did you and Bones meet? And if you tell that story, I'll tell how Willow and I met.
Yeah, Bones and I met on a dating website.
Wow.
Yeah, we were both doing the thing where we're just like, I'm just gonna look for cool people to meet because I'm bored, and just like people to talk to because there's like not really much going on. And like we were both at college, we were bored. And I've talked about this quite a lot, actually. The first time I met up with Bones, we had been talking together for like about a month, and we decided to like go hang out in the city because I lived kind of out a little like out. I lived kind of in the suburbs with my college, so I went into the Boston area to hang out with her, and we met up at one of my. I think my friend was taking summer classes at like Boston University, State University, maybe. And we met up at their place and hung out there for a bit. And then actually, she brought an entire box of home-baked snickerdoodles, which she specifically made because she snuck in a question, just very stealthily asked me what my favorite cookie was. Naturally, she like directed a conversation, like she plotted this shit to like figure out what my favorite cookie was so that she could bake a bunch of it for me when we met. I did not realize that this was an attempted flirt, by the way. I was just like, wow, she's so nice.
That's so good. That's so good.
She's so nice and sweet. And I think the friend who was with me when we hung out even was like, oh, she likes you. And I was like, nah, she's just Midwestern. They're nice like that.
Yeah.
I'm very smart and aware of what is happening around me.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I met Willow by throwing a 4th of July party. And in my puerile era, I made the straight up comment to my friends who were all going to be there. I was like, wow, this is going to be a total sausage fest. I'll invite a couple of ladies I know. And Willow was the only one that showed up. And we were watching. We put on and we're watching pirate radio. And we were all watching it and drinking. And then, like, we basically did the equivalency of, like, Hand on the Knee in the movie theater. And we're like, oh, okay. And I was like, hey, guys, bye. And then I just left the living room with her, and we went and canoodled in my bedroom.
Oh, my God!
And then the best part of the story is yet to come.
Oh, my God.
Hold on. So, my friends finished the movie. We're still in my bedroom. And they're like, we want to go to the corner store. And then one of my friends realizes he's left his shoes in my room.
Oh my God.
So he opens the door, walks in, sorry, grabs shoes, sorry, walks out.
Oh my God.
Yep.
I would die. I would actually just die.
It was
I
really
would have
funny.
gone shoeless. How can you walk in and just get the shoe?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was really funny.
Oh my God. I think the word you're looking for is mortifying.
I mean, Willow and I were laughing, so.
I am too easily embarrassed. You know, while that may be hard to believe, it is in fact very true. Like there are a lot of like TV shows
God damn it,
that
paper.
like and movies. What? I wouldn't mind if you looked. I would mind. I would fucking mind, paper. I don't want to see that.
I feel like you'd hear the plaps before you open the door, though. Anyway, next question. So I've been noticing. I noticed that you had been just plaps being. Celador, no.
God.
You've been recently hitting the VTuber, sorry, not VTuber, the YouTube pretty hard recently with these short little videos, but that are not shorts. And I'm genuinely curious from a friend, business, and etc. perspective. So you have these videos that are like shorts in length most of the time, but are not posted as shorts. Is that an intentional choice? And if so, why do you think you're doing that? If you don't mind me asking.
So mostly I take the advice of Nami on that kind of stuff, just because they understand this a lot more than I do. And also it's on, you're going to catch like different audiences from shorts versus 100%. From clips. And it's the way they're done. They're more styled to be in the way that like original VTuber, like the way a lot of clipper channels work. Like if you actually go watch VTube clip channels, the clips are actually usually about that short, like maybe slightly, you know, give or take like a couple seconds, like a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, but they're usually in that format. And I mean, personally, I also prefer watching widescreen. I don't really like watching shorts too much. I do plan to eventually start getting short edits and stuff and like doing TikTok and whatnot. but it's more like I'm putting my eggs in one basket first, and
That's
then
smart.
figuring out like what's worth expanding into. But clearly, like the clip stuff has been doing really well. Actually, significantly better than I expected, or really anyone expected, I think, because I was expecting around 10% of what it's already doing. So it's a little bit like, a little bit of the, you know, but it like in a good and positive way.
Yeah.
Vertical video was a creation of the devil.
And not the fun devil. How you doing, True Signs? Good to see
Yeah.
you, dude.
The way you also have to make shorts and TikTok content is a little different too, because it has to be cut so that it can loop effectively. Like the better content for those platforms has to be able to like make a proper loop.
Yeah, it has to end the same way it begins, so it can.
Yeah, kind of, right? Like, or at
drag
least
people
it's got to
into it.
flow into itself, right? It's got to have a good energy flow where it matches. And I'll get into that stuff eventually. It's just, it's too many eggs.
Yeah.
Too many baskets.
So there's I want to shift gears really hard here. I understand that there was a hill that you used to go to a lot. That was more of like a couples retreat, but you just would go and enjoy the view because it was such a beautiful scene.
Oh.
Can you tell us a
Yeah,
little
the
bit about
foothills.
that? The foothill? Yeah.
The foothills, yeah. It's a bit of a drive from where Bones and I are, and where we pretty much wherever we've been. It's always been a bit of a drive, but it's really nice. It's a really good place. First of all, I like the drive, especially at night, because it's got like a lot of really sharp turns and it's a lot of uphill, downhill. And in my old car, which had really, really good handling because it was a Subaru, it was just honestly really fun to drive up that mountain. And obviously I will not drive super fast because it wouldn't be safe because there's a lot of blind corners. I actually wouldn't. I'm a scared baby. What if someone comes around the other side and hits me and I die?
Well, then it'll be over.
I'm gonna have a panic attack. I'm gonna throw up. But point is, right? Like it's genuinely really fun to drive up at night and drive back down. It's really fun. And you get up there, and at that, like the hills in this area don't have too many trees. It's mostly shrubbery. There's certain parts where there's a ton of pine and a ton of eucalyptus, but at the top of this part of the foothills, it's mostly brush. And there's even like a little viewing area that they built up there where you can drive out and you can stand out there, and you're high enough up and far enough away from most of the suburbs in the city that you can actually once again see the stars, but you can look out over pretty much the entire bay. If you like position yourself right, you can see the whole entire bay, like the water and all the city and the suburbs, and it's all lit up and it's super beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's like movie-esque, and I just love that place. So I haven't gone there in like 4 years now because of being shut up in my house.
Sure.
But it's I don't know. There's a lot of locations like that. Like I miss going to Yosemite almost every year. Like I would drive there with my family in summertime. We would drive up there, and there were a couple times we drove up in winter because I genuinely just like going to nature preserves and parks and stuff and just walking around and taking pictures.
Oh yeah, I love being outside.
Also because no one fucking talks to me. I can be surrounded by beautiful nature while still being in a relatively close to civilization, right? Like they're still working toilets and running water, electricity, and Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But like, there's not a lot of people. It's a lot quieter, and I get way less stressed when I'm out there. And it allows me to like actually do photography, which I haven't done. I don't usually do unless I go out there, but I really enjoy photography. I miss it as a like hobby activity.
Well, I hope you do it again soon.
It's just expensive.
Yes, it is. So I understand you have a particular fried rice.
Yes.
What's
my
that all
spam
about?
fried rice. So in college, I couldn't eat at the dining halls at my college after a little while because they changed the way they were doing food, like their service provider for most of their food.
Okay.
And because of that, they no longer had like the pizza / burger dude there, because
Okay.
like we had a guy who would just make burgers, or like any kind of burger you want, he would just make it. They just had a grill. And that went away when they changed the dining system. So there was no longer anything I couldn't safely go into the dining hall because of all my allergies. Like I couldn't walk into the hall. It was so I had to start cooking for myself, and I cooked on a budget because I didn't want to spend too much money. But I needed to eat. So I started devising really horrible recipes that were very cheap. That most people would balk at, but they ended up being pretty good, like the sriracha chicken marinade I sometimes made,
sure.
which is like, you know, like sriracha, some soy sauce, some ginger, some other things. I can't remember everything I put in that one because I haven't made it in years, but I would marinate chicken tendies in that, like in a bag of that. I would just make like 10, and that would be my food for like a week. Or I'd just make massive amounts of chicken curry, or I would make my spam fried rice, which was the cheapest thing because all you need to make the spam fried rice is a little bit of sesame oil, which is expensive but worth the splurge.
Yep.
Spam, which is dirt cheap and provides all the fat and salt you need, and honestly the oil you need.
Yeah.
Rice and sriracha, and that's it. Oh, an egg if you're feeling spicy.
Right.
But yeah, I would take spam, I would take it out of the can, chop it into little, like dice it up, and then throw it in a frying pan, fry it all up till it's super crunchy.
Yeah.
Scoop it all out, drain the fat back into the pan, throw the eggs in there, cook them in the spam fat so I don't need to use any extra oil. Have the rice pre-cooked, let it sit overnight, mix all that in together, stir it up, fry it a little bit more, put a little bit sesame oil on top to top it, give it a little bit extra flavor, and bam, done.
Yeah. It's a good recipe.
Yeah, it's super solid. It's really delicious. It's super cheap. It's easy to make. Every person I have had try it, even the people who are like, spam is disgusting, ew, have been like, oh my God, this is so good. And the best part, yeah, I'm disgusting to you, but you haven't even tried it, and you would like it if you tried it. Also, Nagi's opinion is invalid. She does not believe in putting sauces on pretzels.
Okay,
like
hold on.
She doesn't believe in nacho cheese dip. She also doesn't
Hold
believe
on.
in sweet pretzels.
Pause, because I'm with you.
Yes.
Comma, however, there are such a thing as good soft pretzel.
Yeah.
That is not better than is not better with sauce. As its own.
Well,
it's
yeah,
perfect,
but like that's like saying that cakes exist that don't need like fruit. That might be true, but like she's against the concept of having like anything other than a basic bitch pretzel.
So, okay. I will remind...
She also doesn't approve of pretzel bread as like used in other things.
Okay, so she's
It's
a pretzel
fucked up.
purist.
Yes. it's
Let
messed
Nagi
up,
have
as
her
is
pretzels
Moe.
raw. Let Nagi and Moe have their pretzels raw.
They're having them wrong. It's fine.
No, raw.
Oh yeah, she doesn't believe in pretzel bites. That was the other thing. She was like, pretzel bites are not pretzels because they're not tied together in a knot.
Okay, so this is the classic Nagi issue, right? Nagi is a very principled person.
Wrong. We can just tell her that she's, what she is, which is wrong.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a pretzel-based pizza just to hurt her and Moe one day, and I'm gonna eat it, and it's gonna be delicious.
If I could be there for that, I would like a slice. That sounds really good.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. It's not pretzel chef, it's live bread. Excuse you, we speak English here, Moe.
No, but don't be stupid on purpose.
Wow.
Don't be stupid on purpose. It's
Watch
like a
me.
pizza without the sunburn. Oh no. It's like
Okay, but
motherfuckers out here
anyway.
being. Oh, go ahead. Yeah,
So the spam.
we did that already.
Oftentimes, no. I need to explain a crucial part of it, right?
Okay, sure.
Is
Sorry.
most of the time when I make it, people will comment. It's like, oh, you're making the spam too crunchy, and I'm like, no. You have to listen to me. The fact is you're not gonna eat all of this in one sitting. So a lot of the spam is gonna be sitting in the container with the rice and the eggs overnight, and it's gonna re-soften.
Yeah.
So you want it extra crunchy when it's done being made, because it re-softens and like it'll like, if you don't make it crunchy enough, it's gonna get really squishy and go back to being soft, and like that, no good, no bueno.
Yeah,
See,
no one likes
Paper
soft
understands.
meat.
You want the crunch. You proud of that one?
Yes. Enough to make a clip of it.
Yeah.
So you were talking about neuroscience earlier today, and I had heard that you had done that in the past, but I'm curious. One of my least favorite parts of mental health is brain anatomy. I hate memorization in education and in knowledge pools. So like, yes, I know the parts of the motherfucking brain, okay? But like, am I gonna be like, if you sat me down and we're like, hey, can you like tell me about these different behaviors? I'll fucking blah 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 for hours. But if you're like, hey, can you describe to me the parts of the brain? I'm gonna grit my teeth and be like, this is this part. It's located here. It's next to these things. And that's what it does. Like, I'm not happy about it. So what is your tier list, or what is your? You could do either. You could either do a tier list for brain sections, or just what's your most favorite and your least favorite parts of the brain.
I'd say probably the temporal lobe is my favorite.
Based.
It's got the most cool stuff in it.
True.
Like it's got its fingers in every single goddamn pie. Like it can't mind its own fucking business.
Literally.
And I love it for that. And I think my least favorite is honestly probably going to be the brainstem, because it's the most boring. Like, it doesn't do anything super interesting in terms of like, I'm mostly interested in the complex functions of the brain, right? The more complicated things the brain can do. And the brainstem is, of course, very important and can do some really cool stuff. Like, but it's just boring. It bores me.
Yeah.
But like, the complexity of the temporal lobe, particularly like memory, like everyone just thinks that the hippocampus, oh, that's what does your memory. Blah, 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 blah. Wrong. The hippocampus is only involved in certain forms of memory.
Correct.
And like, memory is an incredibly complicated process in your brain. Like, technically, all of your cerebrum, right? Like, all of the lobes of your brain are involved in memory.
Yep.
Depending on like what kind of memory we're talking about. Like, if you're talking long term, that's going to be your whole brain, all of it. Because like, if you're remembering, let's say like you're trying, like, think Ratatouille. The guy's, he's eating the dish and he's remembering his childhood experience where he scraped his knee, remembers the smell of the food. Like, that's going to be activating all over your brain. Like, all those different parts of the memory are coming from different locations.
Hold
like
on.
the fact that your knee hurt, how it felt when it was scraped, all of that stuff.
Yeah, no answer. That's not a hippocampus. That's a
hippocampus is a seahorse, you dingus.
it's I'm not even. I stopped you to get into it, and I'm going to not. The medulla oblongata. What about it? What are my thoughts on it? It's neat.
I mean, it's cool. A lot of people have like, the issue is with a lot of brain parts, I try not, honestly, to explain them a little bit like too much, because everyone has a very, I want to be nice, but I'm going to be honest and say wrong understanding of what different parts of the brain do and what they control. Just like with neurohormones, aka neurotransmitters, aka brain chemicals, all that jazz, right? Like, everyone is like when I was younger, everyone was like, oh, dopamine's the happy chemical. And now everyone goes, oh, serotonin, the happy chemical. And I'm like, yeah, it's also your appetite chemical, your fucking chemical, all, like, it's 500 different things.
Yeah.
It has a million jobs. Like, to explain dopamine and why it's not the happy chemical in your brain, like, just for context, it is 100% involved in making you feel happy. Like, when you feel happy, your dopamine levels are higher. However, dopamine is also, like, malfunction of dopamine receptors is also the cause of Parkinson's disease and schizophrenia, which present nothing alike. Like, Parkinson's has like loss of muscle control and like tremors and spasms. Schizophrenia has full-on hallucinations, like aphasia, like not
aphantasia.
Aphantasia, and then also like inappropriate affect and like 100 other different types of symptoms depending on what type, like what subtype of schizophrenia someone is suffering from. Yeah. What is the flavor of your mental
Paper Rose,
illness?
if you tell someone in my presence to stop talking about psychology, I will drop kick you the fuck out of here.
Yeah, get her ass, get her.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah. Or it's oxytocin is one that almost made the rounds for a while, where people were like, "Oh, it's the chemical that makes you bond with other people."
Oh my
and I'm
god.
Like, no, that's not what it does.
That is...
Like, yes, it is tangentially related, but it's not a causative relationship.
Yes.
Like, yes.
When
But
you do those things, that chemical is present. Yes. However,
if you insert, like, let's say you injected it into someone's head, it's not going to cause those results.
Exactly.
Also, it would depend where you inject it. Like, for example, the reason why dopamine can be involved in both Parkinson's and schizophrenia is because it's malfunctioning in different parts of the brain with different receptors. Because, like, even though dopamine is one chemical, there are a ton of different receptors in the brain that match to it and do different things. Think of it sort of like how you can have one sound, right?
Yep.
Like the pipes sound effect. Hold on, it's gonna be a little loud.
No.
Yeah, go ahead, lower me, go on.
I just hate the sound.
So pipes. Yeah, makes Horatius experiences in result of that stimulus anger. I experience joy. It makes me laugh. Some people would experience panic because it's a loud sound and it startles them or scares them. The pipe sound effect is dopamine. Everyone's different, like the different people are different receptors. And then like the emotion you feel from the sound is the different response. And that's how like brain chemicals work basically, is depending on what the receptor is, depending on where it is, and like how much of the chemical is there and affecting the receptor and how long it's there affecting the receptor all cause different responses.
Yep. It's
so like I believe Parkinson's is a overactivation of a certain, I think like D2 or D3, the dopamine 2 or 3 receptor. I can't remember which. And
it's
then
2.
Yeah, D2. And then schizophrenia I think is under activation, right?
It's hypo, not hyper.
Yeah, it's hypo, meaning there's not enough dopamine action in certain parts of the brain. So like the medications that people will try to give you for schizophrenia sometimes, not always, but sometimes attempt to stop dopamine from getting broken down or like make it stick to receptors longer to try and make it be like, because you can't give someone more dopamine, but you can try to make the dopamine more useful in their brain.
Basically what you're doing with that is you're whenever a dopamine happens, it's stretching its half-life so it lasts longer. It makes your current existing juices more potent and long-lasting because, again, like Renn just said, you can't just like take a fucking needle of dopamine and like into someone's head. It's not gonna do anything. Most likely.
And you can't give them an injection into their blood either because dopamine cannot pass through the blood-brain barrier.
Yep. A lot of neuroactive hormones cannot do that.
And that's very good because a lot of toxins and poisons, like many of the fun chemicals we enjoy for funsies, that just happen to not kill us because we're too big / they just don't kill people for some reason. Like those would be working on your brain because like they're technically a neurotoxin. Like caffeine is a neurotoxin.
Yeah.
Nicotine is a neurotoxin. It is meant to attack your nervous system and kill you. It's just it doesn't work good on people. In fact, it has kind of unintentionally the opposite effect, where for insects nicotine is deadly. It'll kill them. But for us, we love the nicotine so much that we will eat the shit out of that plant and grow more of it. Yeah.
Caffeine is a
Caffeine
neurotoxin?
is a
Yeah,
neurotoxin?
dog.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Have you
Anything
ever-
that is working on your brain is probably a neurotoxin. Not
Most-
always, but probably.
A lot of poisons in the world and venoms are basically just hormone concoctions. Because you guys got to remember, hormones are just the messengers that tell your cells what to do. So if you inject,
I think,
oh, go ahead.
Can I explain how certain spider venoms work?
I would love you to. I was just about to, but please pop off.
So,
You do this while I'm gonna piss. I'll be right back.
Okay, go piss. Okay, go piss, girl. Okay, so did you know that there is a neurohormone that actually also affects your muscles, because your muscles communicate in very similar ways to how your neurons communicate, with electrochemical signals, meaning a combination of electrical and chemical signals. So there's a neurohormone called acetylcholine, which is active in your muscles and in your brain. Now, certain spider venoms and other venoms of snakes, for example, will act on acetylcholine receptors, or on the cells, the neurons that actually dump acetylcholine onto like spit it out to create the signal. So one way, I forget if it's black widows. I don't think it might be. I could be misremembering, but there is one. Yeah, ACH baby. Yeah, acetylcholine. But yeah, so there's one venom that causes your neurons to massively dump out all of their acetylcholine onto your muscles. And this causes you to have massive muscle spasms because your muscles don't know the difference between an incorrect signal and a correct one. All they know is, hey, there's acetylcholine. I should contract. I should tense up. But because muscles can't do that forever, right? Like they'll tense and then they'll untense. They'll tense and they'll untense. So you start spasming. You look like you're having a seizure. But then once the venom has run out, you get paralyzed. And the reason this happens is because after your neurons have dumped all their acetylcholine, they can't just make more instantly. So you go through massive muscle spasms, and then you are completely paralyzed and you cannot move. And then you die by suffocating. I know a lot about how people die.
Yep. It's toxology,
Like-
baby.
Yeah. But it's really cool to me, right? Because that's how that one poison works. It makes your cells exhaust all of their signaling molecule so that they can't like once the poison has done its work, they can no longer solve the problem. Versus other toxins, right? Other venoms will block your receptors. So you wouldn't have spasms first. You would just freeze and be unable to contract your muscles because they would attach to the receptor and not allow acetylcholine to bind. They wouldn't activate it though. It's like imagine like someone stuffing Play-Doh into a key lock. It doesn't actually open the lock, but it makes it impossible for you to get your goddamn key in there and open it yourself. And then like, there are certain poisons, right? Like some of the more common poisons that people know about are like cyanide, right? And arsenic. And the interesting thing about cyanide is that it's not actually working on your neurons. And that's one reason why like cyanide can be so hard to deal with, because what it's actually doing is it's attacking the ways that your cells create energy.
Yep.
It specifically attacks your mitochondria, powerhouse of the cell, by attacking something called the electron transport chain, which is in the membrane of your mitochondria and is responsible for the vast majority of all your energy production that allows your cells to do everything that they do. And it'll attach to proteins in there and straight up brick them. Like imagine someone ran a magnet over your freaking hard drive. That's what cyanide does. So like your body can, I think, repair some of that damage. Like your cells can kind of fix that or compensate for it, but it requires so little cyanide to do enough damage to completely fuck you over that it's insanely deadly. And that's why cyanide is so dangerous, because it's got a very low lethal dose. Like the LD50, the lethal dose 50, like, which means like the amount you have to give test subjects for 50% of them to die is incredibly low.
Yeah.
Versus like certain other poisons, the LD50 is actually quite high because
like lead's LD50 is around like 50 caliber. Like, so lead has a really low I'm sorry. It's a stupid fucking joke.
I'm just gonna let you roll with it.
Thanks.
I thought you were gonna you could have gone with like 20 cal.
No.
But
yes, please. Sorry, go ahead.
I was good to think. What's? Oh, do you want to know how we make anti-venoms?
I mean, I know. Do you want to tell chat?
Yes.
All right.
We take the poison and we inject it in animals.
Yep.
You'll take it and you'll like inject snake venom into, for example, let's say like a horse or a cow, right? And because they're really big, it won't kill them.
Yep.
Hopefully. Because they're so large. But their body will produce antibodies.
Yep.
And if you know what antibodies are an essential part of your immune system. But antibodies aren't like a cell or anything complicated. They're just a little protein. They're basically little proteins that float around and are designed to just lock and key match with other things, with things that are dangerous or a problem. So you'll inject like the toxin into a large animal like a horse. They will produce antibodies that latch onto the poison and neutralize it. You extract those from the animal, usually from like their blood, or like tissue samples, right? And then you distill it, basically, like you purify it so you get only the antibody in a nice little bottle, and then you inject that into people when they get bit.
Yep.
So like you're not actually removing or destroying the venom when you inject someone with anti-venom. You're basically just clogging it up with glue so it can't do anything. Antibodies and bodies collide and power warp the core and start.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Sounds about right.
So, I don't know how much you talked about it, but I understand that you really like the Lightbringer series.
Yeah.
Can you give me
That's
an
one of my
elevator
favorite
pitch
books.
on the Lightbringer series?
Elevator pitch. All right. Wizards turn, or battle mages turn electromagnetic radiation into physical matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it a comedy? Is it a high fantasy?
Oh
Is
god,
it,
no.
like what's the genre? Is it mommy porn? Like, what's the deal?
No.
Okay.
It's a high fantasy series about multiple characters with multiple perspectives. I'm trying to avoid spoiling.
Right.
It's about, okay, there is a rebellion that starts in the seven satrapies, which is basically a country, sort of. It's kind of, it's okay. I'm trying to think so hard. Okay. The color magic mega church of aka the Vatican rules over 7 different countries. One of them has a rebellion that begins and is attempting to take over and destroy the central power. And this is the story of all those characters and their involvement in it. And like most of them are trying to stop the rebels from winning because the people who are rebelling are on the side of wizards who have used so much magic that they have actually gone batshit insane and have begun to replace their physical bodies with solid light, which is the magic, like the material they can make from light, like Luxon, the physical material. So when you use too much magic, you go fucking crazy.
Right, you become an eldritch being, basically.
Well, kinda. Like you start augmenting your body. Like for example, there are like you can usually only draft or use one color, sometimes two, and being able to use more than that is very rare. But your insanity is also influenced by the color that you use, because the different colors of magic have different effects, right? Like blue makes you more calm, more logical, more rational, and this is actually based on some actual psychological phenomenon observed in people when when stimulated with certain colors, which is super cool and fascinating.
So color
like the
theory type
author
stuff.
Yeah, like the author has blended a lot of like actual science into what like exists there. Like he actually goes into like the psychological effects of colors that we know of, as well as the actual the more physical nature of like light itself.
Okay.
Even though it feels like, I mean, most people don't think of light as something physical, but it is kind of in a way, a little bit, you know, because it alternates between particle and wave. But yeah, like let's say you're a blue-white, which is like a wizard, like a battle mage who's gone crazy because they've used too much blue magic. They start attempting to perfect themselves with Luxon, where like they will be like, oh, blinking means I see less, and like also if I'm not constantly covering my vision with a layer of blue, I can't like create as much blue blue Luxon. So I'm going to replace my eyelids with caps of blue Luxon. I also, skin is pretty weak and fragile, so I'm going to replace all of my skin with a blue Luxon carapace.
Okay.
Yeah. So like they get pretty fucking creepy and crazy, and then you have like different like you got like the flesh is weak.
So what's funny to me is that like as you're describing this, it feels very reminiscent of the lanterns from the comic books. Because the lanterns are very similar, where like each of the different lantern corps are sort of associated with an emotion, and then people who have used a lantern's power for a longer period of time tend to take on more Paragon-esque traits associated with that emotion. It's very similar in premise, but so let me put it to you this way. What is the type of person that you would recommend the series to, and what book would you recommend if not the first one in the series?
Oh, you have to start with the first. Okay. They're sequential, like they go one after the other. Yeah. If you skip books, you're gonna be really fucking confused. But like I would say if you like fantasy, like just at all, if you like books that have genuinely some pretty long and well thought out plot lines, like it's so good. There's so much stuff. Like there's stuff that like kind of feels like, these are some weird chapters in like book 2, and then in book 3 I was just like, oh wait a minute. Oh my god, he's coming in from the top rope.
Okay.
Like it was clearly planned from start to finish, and there's a lot of stuff which I know Brent Weeks, who's the author, definitely like changed and improvised and like did differently than he may have intended, right? Like you can't plan like that. Like he also, like I know he was like, this is going to be a 5-book series. It was like 7. So but it's really good. And I will say I love it because the world building is some of the best I've seen. Like he actually puts a lot of thought into how like the social repercussions of the ideas he puts forth, like, which I really like. Like for example, when you are using magic, the Luxon is in your blood. Gotcha. Right? The physical light is in your blood. No. Like the particles of it are traveling through your blood. So
that's what midichlorians do.
It's visible. I'm gonna kill you.
Real quick, Chi-Chi, thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. It's good to have you here.
Yeah. So like for example, right? If you're using red magic or any color, right? It's gonna be visible under your skin if you're like me and you're pale, right? Because you can see your blood through your skin. So who do you think is preferred for being a warrior? like an actual battle mage. People with really fair skin, where you can see the second they start doing magic before they even like actually expel anything. No. Darker skin is better for being a battle mage, and having blue eyes is better because blue eyes actually allow in more light, which is also true. You can absorb more light in blue eyes than you can in super dark eyes.
So we have some really powerful phrenology.
Dark skinned, blue-eyed characters.
Oh, I was gonna say, all right, orange.
What?
Oh my goodness.
Hi, Aki.
All right, that's gonna go for a while.
Orange is the Orange gifted a tier 1 sub to Soph Almighty.
Jesus, Orange, thank you very much.
Orange is the Orange gifted a tier 1 sub to Wizard 364.
All right.
Orange is the
Self
Orange
Almighty,
gifted a tier 1
Wizard,
sub to High King Mike.
364, High King Mike, Dark the Cat, Quiche Play, Truly, Unruly Ginger, Light Blessed,
Orange is
Deja,
the Orange gifted a
OCS
tier 1
VT
sub to
Art,
Dark
Weather
the Cat.
Bee, Lady J Psych, Zemnote, Caffeine
Destroy.
Jitters, Happy Grunt, Two Valid,
Orange is the
Elven
Orange
Horses,
gifted a tier 1
Xander
sub to
Forte,
Quiche Play.
Warborn 13, Amothic, my editor, and Tired Coffee Gay. That's one of you grab your pickaxes and
Orange
get back
is
to
the
work
Orange
because you're no
gifted a
longer
tier
just some
1
welcome
sub to
visitors
the
in this
Unruly
mountain. You're
Ginger.
now employed in this mine. Get to it.
Orange is the Orange
There's that
gifted a
number
tier
again.
1 sub to Light Blessed 666.
Orange is the Orange. Orange is the Orange. Orange is the Orange.
Orange is the Orange gifted a tier 1 sub to Thedja VT.
I might turn this off.
Yeah.
Orange is the
I don't-
Orange
I-
gifted a tier 1
okay.
sub to Weatherby.
There we go. That should be it.
Rock and stone. Is that how you say it?
I have to.
Gracious,
I
did I
have
get
to
that
do
right?
I have to figure that out. Thank you for summoning Isabella Ooze, Volk. Thank you. I will take that drop kick of a segue
Now,
opportunity
this is a chromosome.
and ask you, how do you find a work-life balance that works for you?
Yeah, I totally have one of those.
Okay, great. So next question. Why does your dog look like Ed Sheeran?
I don't know, man. I don't know. He's got one of the eyes that sometimes looks like it's pointing the other way a little bit. I only just realized that like this week when I was staring at him. I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. And then I held my phone up next to his face with a picture of Ed Sheeran. I was like,
No. It's just a bummer to have a
it's only when you get
talentless
him with
hack in your
really
house.
bad lighting. Like if you hit Holly with really bad lighting, he looks like Ed Sheeran. But most of the time, he looks beautiful. You know, actually, I think it was Eggs who said he looks like the cute puppet from like the Dark Crystal.
Yeah. Okay.
I've
yeah.
heard so many descriptions of Holly where it's like looks like the puppet from the Dark Crystal. I had someone tell me he looked like a baboon. I've had someone tell me he looks like a raccoon. I've had someone tell me that like I've had a number of child be like, that's a wolf. And I had one kid at my old apartment complex. We were walking him outside and like they were with their dad, right? And like dad was holding on to the one hand for dear life because the child like reached out and goes, lion, lion. He goes, that's a dog. And the kid goes, lion.
Amazing.
Because he's got such a fluffy little mane. I've had like really young kids mistake him for a lion.
Sure.
I've had like slightly older kids be like, is that a wolf? And I'm like, no, him dog. Him baby.
So, how was the D's Nuts candle?
It's actually really nice. I have it right here with me. It smells like banana and cinnamon.
And why do you?
I love sniffing D's nuts.
Why'd you get cereal off your throne?
What do you mean?
You got Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I believe, from. Not Cinnamon
Yeah.
Toast. Was it?
Do you not like Cinnamon Toast Crunch? It's what the kids crave.
Okay. First of all, you're gonna have to not come at my throat like that. All right.
I did though. It's Cinnamon Toast Crunch. This is serious business, dude.
I love
Sir.
cereal. My favorite cereal is like Raisin Bran.
I didn't know you were a geriatric patient, but okay.
Yes, you did. You've met me.
Well, you're aging very gracefully.
Thanks. Hora is old. Thank you, Frodo. My boy Frodo's got my back. He knows I'm an old man.
Feels old, man.
God damn it. I need to, Trustein, can you send me a ref for what feels old man would look like, and I'll get someone to draw me in that.
Dude, that
for an
already
emote.
exists.
But draws me as it, so I can get that as an emote.
Oh yeah.
So, you have changed a lot as a content creator over the couple of years, and you've gone from primarily a gamer streamer to a debate bro. I'm kidding. To
Excuse me. That's the most fucked up thing you've ever accused me of. What the fuck? That's horrible.
I'm sorry.
That's
I
horrible.
couldn't even finish the statement.
That's horrible. We're gonna go cry in my room about this later. I'm telling my therapist.
That's okay. But so you transition from a lot of different types of like content arcs, if you will. And so how have you engaged with your audience in a way that you think that a lot of people don't do or maybe should do, that keeps them like a little bit parched for thigh time, but also very respectful to your silly shit and everything else that makes you an amazing story to watch and an amazing content creator?
I mean, I think honestly the main idea is just like that it's a show.
Right.
And like the thigh time, like I still don't. I'm gonna be real. I still don't think anyone thinks thigh time is anything but funny. I'm gonna be sincere. I really don't, because to me it's a funny bit.
Yeah.
And like I think the reason that like I can have things like that and other stuff is because I just find stuff of that nature funny, and that's always been the way I've just communicated that I feel about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it's just funny and silly, and I never take anything too serious in that nature. Like I'll make a lot of jokes about stuff, but it's very clear, at least I think, maybe I'm wrong, that it is a bit. And because it's a bit, I think like everyone enjoys like joining in on jokes like that and like
I think so.
going along with the flow.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, the other thing too, right, is to really think of streaming as a performance, right? Like you're putting on a show. You want to be funny, you want to be interesting and entertaining, and you can't do that every stream. Like there are definitely streams where I'm like, oh god, I did a bad job, I was so tired and drained.
Yeah.
But like sometimes just chilling and talking with your chat is like nice. Like there are days where like I intend to play a game and I end up just talking with chat for like 5 hours. It doesn't happen often, but it can. And I'll just sit there and talk for a couple hours and we'll have a fun time just chatting, and then I'm like, all right, I'm done, goodbye, fuck you.
Right.
And I'm like, peace, I'm out of here, and I just bounce.
It's all about boundaries, I think.
Yeah. And I think the main thing that I some creators probably need to do a little bit more is remember boundaries, like that they go both ways.
Absolutely.
Like everyone talks a lot about like viewers getting parasocial, right? And like that concern there, and like not baiting that out of people, and like being cautious that you're not crossing any boundaries in that way or doing anything risky. But there's also like the understanding, like I simply think of it as, if I'm not funny and I wouldn't watch my own content, like if I don't think it's interesting enough that I would want to sit down and watch it, I shouldn't bother doing it, because why the hell should anyone come watch? Like nobody owes you watch time, nobody owes you showing up to your stream. So if you're not giving them good content, you
shouldn't give it to them.
Yeah, why would they come? Why are they gonna I have brain rot.
Hold on, we're gonna have to clip that.
Why would they come?
Mark, so the first part of the clip, do the thing that Renn just did to that, and cut out the back part where it didn't work because we were talking over each other.
Why do you come? But like, so continuing on that point, you want to make sure that you're being funny, that you're interesting to watch, and that when new people come by your stream, you show them why they have a good reason to stick around.
Yeah.
Right? Like raids, people come by. You want people who come in with a raid within like 5 seconds to realize why it's worth sticking around and, why you're entertaining and interesting. Yeah. And, like you can't do that every day. You have to make realistic expectations, right? Like there's some days where you kind of flub it and like you don't do your best, but you need to like always do more to practice so that even your worst becomes way better than it used to be, or like way better than what most people can do.
Yeah.
And that's the way I think about it.
So talking about your older content, you used to play a lot of Monster Hunter.
Oh, I only played Monster Hunter.
I remember I was there.
I did nothing. I didn't even do just chatting first. I would sit down, I would play Monster Hunter for 8 hours or 12 and then be like, peace, and then go to bed.
I did that with Deep Rock. Deep Rock Galactic used to be one of the only things that I ever streamed. And because of that, I kind of burned myself out a little bit on Deep Rock, which is a shame because I love that game. But I got played it with a couple people on stream yesterday. It was the first time I've streamed Deep Rock Galactic in like months. And it was so nice to go back to that. So my question to you is, I guess it's a sort of rapid fire lightning round. And it'll end with like a big question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Favorite Monster Hunter game?
World.
Favorite weapon?
Insect Glaive.
Favorite element to use?
Paralysis.
Same. Based. Favorite monster to fight?
Mizutsune.
Monster that you have... Oh, go ahead.
If I have to pick from World, Nargacuga. Wait. Ruined Nargacuga.
Monster that you have the most downloaded?
Nergigante. I can't English.
It's okay. Nergigante. Ruined Nergigante. What's the monster that you have
the porcupine boy.
Oh, he's so good. And the last lightning round question before we get to the big Monster Hunter question is, what is the monster that you have the most downloaded? So when you do a round against them, you're just like weaving through their attacks like water, and you have them downloaded so well that you know everything they're gonna do the moment they start to do it, and you always have the answer.
It would probably be Mizutsune or honestly, Safi, Jiva, or Nergigante. Those are the ones I think I fought the most. And like I know the fight's the best.
Yeah, I feel that.
I think. But I mean, I just fight Mizutsune so much because I love fighting him. It's a
fun fight. Yeah.
My cute little bubble fox.
So here's the big Monster Hunter question. We're coming up on Monster Hunter's 20th anniversary in March. At the Tokyo Game Show, they recently discussed that they're going to be releasing something that they know is going to be really big. And my question to you is, of these two options, which would you prefer? What's your dream of that release being? And what do you hope that they add to it, or what do you hope that they change? Because the two options are, would you want it to be a new Monster Hunter, like a Monster Hunter 6 type of vibe, or would you want it to be a remaster of the first game?
I'd want it to be a Monster Hunter 6.
Okay, so like Scout Flies and the Grapple and the little Sling Pod and the Silk Bind, and like basically every big Monster Hunter title that has like its new system of the game. What's a system you'd either like to see return and refined, or what's a system that you think they could make and it would be neat as hell?
I think I'd like to see water combat come back. Honestly, and like I know most people did not like the grapple hook, but like from World, but I really loved it.
I loved it too.
As much as I love wire bugs, I can't love them with all my heart and truth, because it's because of wire bugs that the insect glaive became way less fun for me to play.
Right.
where like the insect glaive lost like one of its signature moves from World became a wire bug only move.
Right.
The fact that you had wire bugs like meant that you could only do 3 attacks in the air, so there was no point in getting a bunch of stamina regen and like stamina buffs so that you could play the
Just
floor is
fly in the air,
lava
right,
and
yeah.
never touch the ground. Like that's the most fun part of the insect glaive to me.
Mhm.
And like, I'm gonna be real, I have people tell me all the time in World, you have a better DPS rotation if you don't go in the air as much. I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Right.
I'm still like one of the top 2 people doing DPS in this hunt because I even with never touching the ground. If you think I give a crap about my optimal rotation, I do not give a shit. I care about having fun.
Yeah.
This game is super fun, and I play it in the way that makes me have fun. Like, I remember people telling me that the insect glaive was one of the worst weapons you could play in World and it had the worst DPS output, and then people proved that wrong, and I was
Right.
like, ha 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 ha, suck my balls.
And you and I are very much on the same wavelength when it comes to that, because like fuck, I play Lance. It's literally like consistently the least popular weapon in every single game. And there's a lot of reasons for that. It's consistency, which most weapons have burst, and there's no big numbers. There's no big numbers in Lance. You are doing very consistent DPS with the Lance. I would say a really good Lancer can stand up to the equal skill level of other people in other weapon categories. But the big thing that holds Lance back is like, oh, there's no I charge up my Lance or slam a motherfucker with both hands on my tower shield for big boy damage numbers. Like that doesn't exist in the moveset, so you don't get those like one shot every monster in Monster Hunter World with the Lance videos. Like it doesn't have a lot of clickability, which I hate saying. But I love the Lance. I love playing Guard Lance. Because like Monster Hunter as an action RPG doesn't traditionally really have like the triangle of builds, the tank, DPS, and support triangle. But the closest you can get is like an agitation, taunting, guard-based build with the Lance. And it feels really cool to be like, I'm going to keep this motherfucker on me. You guys tear it the fuck up. That's really satisfying for me to play. So I love Lance.
I understand. I feel you. Yeah, like...
Good.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, thinking back to like my favorite game, I said World, but thinking about it, like, World is my favorite for gameplay.
Sure.
It's my absolute favorite for gameplay. But I do love Rise so much. And like, I mean, one of the main things I always say is with Rise, with every new monster they released, it was oops, all bangers.
Yep.
Like every single new monster in Rise is such a fun fight. Every monster in Sunbreak is so fun and like so enjoyable to hunt. Like every single one is good. They're all bangers. The same is not true of World.
Right.
There are a lot of monsters in World where I'm like, if I have to fight this thing one more goddamn time, I might chop off my hands so I don't have to play this game anymore. Like, oh my god, I hate it here. But like, I still love World so much because of the combat. But it's so unfortunate because I'm just like, I'm always sitting here. It's like, I want Monster Hunter 6 when it gets made. I want it to be like Rise and World have a beautiful baby together.
Yes.
Where like I have the same combat as in World, but I have the more monster variety. I have all these new monsters. I have a lot of the online co-op changes they made. The better story, the more interesting, like everything else. I want food back. Fuck Dongo. Get that shit out of here. I'm sick of that annoying ass child in that goddamn town. I want to kill her if I could because I want the Dongo gone. I have diabetes. Someone said help. I'm gonna lose a foot. I want my meat. I want my meat back, and I want Babushka Cat.
Exactly.
I want
Grandma.
Cat. Where is she? I want Grandma to make me soup. Where is she?
What did the child do to Renn? The child did to Renn the same shit that it did to everybody. It took wholesome big boy meals and made it 9 dough balls on some fucking sticks. Like I do. Listen, I will always give mad Babush Cat. Yes. I do love Dongo as a cool cultural touchstone. It's neat, but I think it's very asynchronous for what Monster Hunter is. It's a very rustic world. Yeah, it's a very rustic world. Those motherfuckers don't eat fucking dango and then go kill monsters. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's not enough calories.
They've always eaten like massive meat, massive amounts of cheese, delicious bread, all the good stuff, the stuff that gives you the calories you need to kill. Like, God.
Yeah.
Like, I remember fondue in GU, and that stuff was amazing because you take this massive skewer covered in meat and just dunk it in cheese and then eat the whole thing. And I just, like, watching Monster Hunter characters eat food should make you feel hungry enough to put on 15 pounds in a single meal.
Right. Because
That's
you're then
what
going to go...
Monster Hunter food should do that to you.
Right, because then...
It should do that to you.
Because then the hunt, right? Like, the hunt is you're going to go out into the wilderness for days...
Mm-hmm.
Like, sure, in the gameplay you only see like the 1 hour of the hunt, but like in media res, like, or not in media res, like in the setting in canon, you're like, all right, we're gonna go travel for 3 days out to the fucking ancient forest, and then we're gonna track this monster down for a day, and then we're gonna prep, and then we're gonna set up this trap, and then we're gonna run this motherfucker down. Like, each of those days is thousands and thousands of calorie deficit. And, like, so you have to bulk the fuck up while you're in town because you're going to lose a lot of weight when you're out hunting this monster.
Yep. And I've seen some posts which messed me up inside and mentally, where, like, some of them were like, when you realize that the reason they give you such a grand meal is because most hunters don't make it back from their hunt.
Exactly.
So they're giving you an amazing last meal, one, so that you can have the energy you need and the strength you need to win, to fight. But also because you're probably gonna die, dude. Right. There's a good chance that this is the last home-cooked meal you're ever gonna have, so we're gonna make it a banger. Yeah. Like, that messed me up when I read that one. I was like, oh. That shit hurted.
I agree, Nagi. Also, it's good to see you, Milkshots. Welcome in, dude.
Yeah, like, the fucking food. Now I'm hungry. Now I want to go eat food. Why did you do this to me?
Because we're both food motivated. So, what
I have a burrito in my fridge.
Oh, thank you for the biddies, Kingfisher.
Kingfisher Games cheered X25. The Monster Hunter board game brings in that larger view.
I'm glad. Hey, Renn, welcome in. So, what is your favorite birthday cake, and why is it mint chocolate chip?
Mint chocolate chip ice cream with chocolate cake.
Okay.
Go Baskin Robbins.
Why is that your favorite?
Because it's my favorite since I was a little kid, because I love mint chocolate chip ice cream. And what you can do with the ice cream cake from Baskin Robbins is you can take your fork and you can mash up all the ice cream into the cake and make a little delicious mixture and then eat it all up.
Okay. Next question.
It's
Kung
so
Fu
good.
/fanfic. Kung Fu /fanfic. I understand you... Yeah? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your question.
I mean, that's all I wrote down.
That's all you wrote?
That's a Kung Fu /fanfic question mark? So,
I read much of the gay content.
Yeah.
I read a lot about boys kissing. It's a primary interest of mine. I like to hear about boys kissing. I like to know where they're kissing. I like to know when they're kissing and also why. And I like this so much that I read it in excess.
So is this the same one that's the yaoi that you're really into right now, the Chinese one?
Oh, so that's not what I'm into. Like, it's a series that I really like because it's a book series. And like, because it's a Chinese in origin, it's called Danmei. But it's really good. It's a really sweet. I like it a lot. I just like the author. I like everything that she's written. Because she writes. I mean, her book series have only gotten longer over time. Well, like, the first one she wrote is 4 books. The next one is 5, and then the next one is 7.
Jeez.
And like, each of these books, especially with the last one, they're hefty. They are really, really, really long. And I really enjoy them. I think she's one of my favorite authors, just in general, not even if she wasn't writing Danmei. Like, she's just got a genuinely really great sense of humor. Like, her books are always funny. They are also holy fucking shit, sad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't read MXCX's books if you don't want, like, if you're no thoughts head empty about it, you're most of the time going to be okay, except with like her last 2 series. You can't really ignore the sad feels. The first one, if you don't think about it, it's just a funny, happy comedy. And then the second you actually engage your brain for half a second, you're like, oh, that shit hurts. Oh my God. And like her next book is incredibly sad and depressing, but it has a happy ending. I mean, I guess like the book is taking place after everything sad happened.
Okay.
But like if you took the origin story for the book, which is also the origin story for the characters, and like that was their preconceived end, like that was just the end, it would be the most depressing thing in the universe. It would be super fucking sad. Uh-oh. Hold on.
What?
I'm frozen!
Oh yeah, look at that.
I'm crying.
I see that the neurotoxin has finally taken hold. It's my time to take another VTuber down so that I can make one more step closer to being the only VTuber.
Please. Hold on. The classic phone crash. Give me a moment.
Welcome in, Beezabird.
Stop clipping me being frozen, you monster! What the heck?
It was funny.
That's evil. Okay, but
Yep.
like her book series like do a really good job of like balancing like really good humor and fun characters with some pretty serious storylines that I really enjoy.
Well, I think that's important,
And, like,
right? Like you have to like you have to have like levity.
They're just romance novels.
You have to have levity, but you also have to have stakes.
Mhm.
Otherwise, like that's like the balance in romance writing, I feel, is there has to be levity, there has to be the kissy, and then there has to be the God damn it, chat. Both Bullseye and Milkshot's Moo are both like steaks. Hey, we're made of steaks. Let's talk about steaks. But yeah, so I think you have to balance all 3 of those to really deliver a good.
I am ready to receive instruction from the realm of creation above me for the sandwich I am about to conceive.
I think that one of the main reasons too is like she writes stories where they're honestly kind of a tragedy. They would be a pretty serious tragedy if things didn't end the way that they do.
Sure.
And like things always get pretty close to an incredibly depressing ending. And I think a lot of that probably is because she is a Chinese author where, you know, you can't exactly be gay where she is. So there's a lot of that like general sadness that's present in all queer literature in a lot of her work.
Yeah, you have to kill your gays.
But like, yeah. But no, I like, my favorite thing to describe is like in her second book series, her main character is honestly he's just a shit poster.
Right.
Like as a character, he is just a shitster all the time, but he is haha, I'm Mr. Shitster because otherwise I'll just die inside. But I genuinely, her books are really, really fun. I will say as time has gone on, she's made what is clear to me as like a lot more effort into putting some pretty serious like political intrigue into her books. Like in the world of her stories, she puts a lot more depth into character relationships and like the in-universe world building. Yeah, which is really good. The kung fu part is just that it's the Chinese high fantasy setting, which involves cultivation, which like a lot of like Western audiences will think of as like martial arts. I definitely cannot pronounce the Mandarin word for it, but it's like wuxia or something. I don't know the tones and I don't understand how to read pinyin, so we are out of luck for me being able to explain what that is.
Right.
But no, the fan fiction is rather simple, where I just like reading a lot of fan fiction. I honestly really like the concept of fan works. And I really like what a lot of fans do with a story, where they'll take characters and they will explore them into far greater depth than you initially see them in the story, or like they'll take traits of the characters and be like, well, let's just explore this. Like, let's take this a step further. Let's do a much more in-depth analysis of this world that this person created. And there's also like there's kind of a stigma against fan fiction because a lot of it is very bad. Like, I won't lie, a lot of it is actual trash.
Whenever you're dealing with a medium, sorry to interrupt, but like whenever you're dealing with a medium where the bar of entry is really low, you're gonna get a lot of garbage. See VTubers. Is this like a sex thing? Yes.
Streamers.
Count. You know sex. You've confirmed had sex 3 times.
Damn.
Yeah, he has 3 kids.
Now you're not gonna be a wizard anymore. Yes, mage.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just thought it was really important to point out.
You're fine.
So continue if you'd like.
Oh, wait. Okay, now I'm lost.
It's fine. So anyway, I've asked you a lot of questions today. But to wrap up the Q&A, like traditional interview section of this show, I want to ask you a couple of specific questions and give you an opportunity to ask me some questions.
1 second though, for Kamui. Kamui has a critical question. Yes, Kamui. If you do not have sex before the age of 30, you become a wizard. And the fact you're asking me that question means you are no longer able to be a wizard. Yeah. You have lost your ability to gain magic powers. I am working my way towards it though because I am incredibly strong and powerful.
No Luxem for you.
Also, I want Fireball.
Okay, fair enough.
Fireball. I thought it was 40. No, that's to become a warlock. That's different.
Yeah, different classification. So, what was it? Oh no.
You asking me some more questions, me asking you questions.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where I was starting with. Anyway, I've asked you a lot of questions today, and this is very self-indulgent, and I do ask all of my interviewees this question because it's kind of like I give myself a gold star for the interview if you say yes to this question. Did any of my questions today genuinely make you think? You didn't say it, but genuinely made you think, how did he know about that?
I will say, I think probably the Ed Sheeran one, but I also was like, how? And then I went, oh right, I posted that on Twitter. There was another one though, but I can't remember what it was.
Was it the Foothills?
Yes.
Okay.
That was it. I don't remember. Cause that one did get me where I was like, how'd you know that? I don't remember.
Fuck yeah.
I don't even remember talking
Put her
about
on the
that
board, boys. Let's fucking go. All right, sorry. Sorry, that's a very important, very silly thing for me. I respect Nardwar as an interviewer a lot. And that's like a big trope of Nardwar's interviews is that he gets his interviewees to be like, bro, how the fuck do you know to ask about that? But cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. It made me feel very good. So now I want to ask you, or give you the opportunity. What is one question that you have always wanted to ask me but never had the opportunity to ask?
What is that necklace you wear?
So this...
I've always actually wondered, but I don't know what it is.
This is... So I'm from a place called Yalzar. And many, many years ago, there was a person, an entity, a monster, whatever you want to call them, a force that tried to destroy the world. And so in Yalzar, magic is anchored and held in harmony by 4 magic crystals. You can see them represented here on the medallion. Well, this entity, known as the Sunderer, wielded a hammer and broke all 4 crystals at the same moment. Split himself into 4 and destroyed all 4 crystals at the same time. In doing so, the magic of the world began to fall into disharmony and threatened to basically rip Yalzar from its very fabric. And so thankfully, some people stood up and addressed it and reforged the crystals before it was all too far gone. But people who are old enough and were there and remember the sundering of the crystals wear medallions like this so that we never forget and we never let our guard down again, and make sure that we don't let the crystals fall into just like ruin once more. So it's sort of a memento mori type of thing.
Anytime I hear memento mori, I think of Unus Annus.
But yeah, that's what the medallion is. It's from my homeland.
Also, I don't know if you talk about this on stream, but so feel free not to answer if you don't want to. But I'm also curious how, because you talked to me sometimes about like being involved in like LARPs and such before, and I'm curious how you got into LARPs and just LARPing in general.
So I don't think I've talked about this on the stream before, but I'm very comfortable saying it. So my parents split when I was very young. But not, I guess, like in my late single digits. And so my parents split, and my mom got custody, and when the room mother, we moved away, the Forge Master stayed behind in his home. And as we tried to rebuild the relationships between the family members after that divorce, the room mother and my only blood relative sibling, like full blood relative sibling, started to go to, basically they started to develop a pastime together. They would go off and go to these events together, and I didn't want to go. So I looked to the Forge Master, and he and I began to like try and figure out what we could do with our time together. And I found a local LARP, and I was a big fantasy nerd at the time, and still am. I was brought up on loving Tolkien and stuff like that. And so I found a game called Dagger Here, which translates in Elvish to Battle Lords. And basically I just, Forge Master and I, we built a shitty weapon. We threw together some old clothes that would vaguely fit the theme instead of just like walking up in like a graphic tee. And we went out to an event, and I immediately fell in love, and was stuck in for 20 years almost for it.
That's actually a really wholesome story.
Yep.
Thank you for sharing that one.
Were you still single digit? No, I was much older by that time. I skipped some details in how long time had passed in between each of those segments, because my age is still a mystery and will continue to be one. I'm old.
Your age is old.
Yeah, I am old.
Ancient, becoming dust.
Oh, please.
Meanwhile, I'm just cracking and coughing, even though I haven't even cracked the 3-0. Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm 69. I've always been 69.
Nice.
Always and forever. Nice.
So, with that, I want to go into the second main segment of the show. I know you don't have too much more time, so we'll maybe speed through a little. I'm a big proponent of cultural psychology. And so whenever I think and want to talk about topics, I always consider the cultural lens in those topics. So I was raised by union people in a union home with artisans and craftsmen everywhere. It's a big reason why I am so dwarven. But that culture that I grew up in has shaped me to appreciate quality over quantity, being proud of the things that you make, and not putting out things, like you said earlier, like not putting out things that you don't have faith in. So what is in your culture, your upbringing, that you think has shaped you as a content creator? And again, this could be like your upbringing culture, your mature life culture, where you're from, etc. However you feel you are.
I mean, I think there's definitely like a lot of like just I mean, I have the same like concern about like making sure what I make is good and that I care about it, and that's definitely from my parents. But there's also been quite a lot of like I don't know, just like there's been a lot of stuff with I think from my family upbringing of like you should always try to like when possible do the right thing, not the easy thing. And like I think that's influenced me in the sense of like I try to make sure that like I mean, because I've talked about it before, like I have issues sometimes like where I'm concerned about like crying on stream and other things, because I'm like, well, my reasoning is I know how that affects people, right? Like I understand the effects that has on people, and I don't want to elicit kindness from people, you know, because they you know, in a way where like I know that this will cause X reaction, so I feel if I do X thing that's taking advantage of people, and that's something you should never do. Like you should always be looking out for other people, and you should always try to help other people when possible. And like, you know, so like there's things like that where like sometimes it's kind of to my detriment, where like I sometimes worry about like expressing myself a little bit too much on stream, which I mean, there's definitely a line there that you shouldn't cross, and that you should be careful about. That's niceness, not kindness. Yeah, I mean, it depends, right? It depends. But there's also just like being patient with people and like giving people the benefit of the doubt is definitely something that like my family instilled in me. Because I mean, my family had, with all my issues and struggles, my parents and my family in general had to be very patient and give me a lot of graces and assume the best out of like things I say or do a lot, because, you know, I'm not the best at communicating, and I'm not the best at reading the room. So like I would do, like, I think my favorite story to tell people is like when I was a kid, I would do something bad or like rude and my dad would get mad. I would be like, oh, my dad is angry, I should give him a hug, because that will make him, like, hugs make you feel good. So I should give my dad a hug, then he won't feel bad anymore because he feels bad. And then my dad had to like push me off him, like gently take me off him one time and be like, buddy, I don't want a hug right now. And I was like, that doesn't make sense, you're upset.
The cure for this is a hug.
Yeah, exactly. And he was like, listen, sometimes when people are upset, they don't want a hug. And like that, the patience and the willingness to communicate is definitely something that I got from my parents, where like I try my best to communicate with people whenever possible, and to like, you know, like just assume that someone's not attempting to be cruel or malicious. And that does, but also like if someone is being malicious, fuck that guy, they deserve none of your time. Like, where I think my family just kind of like taught me a status of like, don't judge people, always try to get to know someone first. If they're a dickhead though, fuck that guy, kick him to the curb. You don't owe them anything, but you do owe people default kindness and respect at all times. And you know, like if, you know, like, 'cause I'll clown on people a lot, but that's just because I know it's allowed. Like, it's been established that this is okay. But I think a lot of like the stuff that I do though, where I be really outrageous and be my most authentic self on stream, is kind of in opposition though to my childhood and like a lot of the signals I've gotten when I was younger, because a lot of the stuff, the feedback I received when I was younger is, don't do that, don't share your hobbies, don't express interest in things, never get too excited, you're too loud, you're annoying, like I don't want to hear it, don't talk about it. Not from family, mind you, but you know, just like peers and people in general. And a lot of like me streaming now is actively in opposition to that, where if someone tells me, oh, I don't really care, like shut up about X, Y, or Z, I just look at them and say, go yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a shit about you, fuck off.
Yeah. Ren was just saying that it was outside of the family.
Yeah, no, like my mom is, I specifically cite my mom because my mom would sit down and watch like shit she clearly had zero interest in, but she would pretend to care very deeply about the things I was interested in. She would sit down and watch anime with me. And this is like she's an older white suburban mom. Like she has no interest in anime. She watched My Little Pony Friendship is Magic with me when that was coming out, and I was super obsessed with it. She sat down and she would pay attention for the whole episode and let me talk about it later. And not once did she ever judge me.
Right.
She was always super supportive and nice.
Yeah.
About like everything I was ever into. She was only ever like really supportive and kind.
That's great.
The only thing she wasn't supportive of though was my WoW addiction, which to be honest, fair. Yeah, like my love of video games, that's definitely a family thing. Like my dad got me into games. We played them a lot together. I loved watching my dad play games when I was a kid. I would watch my siblings play games.
Yeah.
And like, that's one reason I like playing the games I do now. But also, it's been quite the journey to like move away from my comfort zone in terms of games, because there were a lot of games that I got used to just watching other people play, because I would just watch my brother play it or my sister or my dad, because it was either too scary or too hard or I didn't think I would like it. And I would say like, well, there's been a lot of stuff that's influenced me in how I became a content creator and what I do as a content creator. Being a content creator has also influenced me in a lot of ways too, where it's made me change in like, I think for the better, in positive ways.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So normally the way we end the show, Ren, is by talking about a topic of psychology that you're interested in. But in the first section of the show, we basically just like blurbed about the brain for like 40 minutes, which I was, by the way, I love that, by the way. And if you ever want to talk brain shit with me again, I would love that.
Oh my god, we can talk about the caudate nucleus. Will you let me rant about the caudate nucleus?
If you give me enough time to research it a little bit to make sure I know what I'm talking about, absolutely.
Yeah! Habit formation pathways, baby!
Hell yeah. Gotta go watch YouTube talk brain shit. Maybe we'll do a thing. I don't know. Fuck. Yeah, what's your thoughts on
all about all the actual like histology and brain sectioning and like actual neuroscience.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I could tell you all about I can't give you too many details just in case anyone tracks down the paper, but I could give you some details about the rat schizophrenia model I did research with.
Ooh, that's fun. What are your thoughts on the Kundalini?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute.
What?
Is that the fake? Is that the fake imaginary friend thing?
That's
the fake imaginary friend thing, isn't it?
The Kundalini is a snake that is wrapped around your spine.
Damn it! Not the fucking spirit snake! I swear to God!
You would be a fantastic person.
It's coming back to me now. I repressed the hell out of that shit, and oh my god, it's coming back.
You would be a wonderful guest.
Those memories
this
gone.
is a chromosome.
If we ever do another Spirit Science React, you would be a fantastic person to have on for that.
Are you saying that because of the time you made me watch it and I had like 8 aneurysms within the span of 10 minutes?
I just think you and I have a very unique perspective on the exact kind of drivel that this dude makes. And it would be very funny.
Have you seen the people going around talking about how you don't need actual glasses? You just need to align your chakras properly.
Yeah.
It makes me want to commit crimes.
Yep, same.
I am being driven towards acts of violence. Don't do anything violent. Stay within the confines of your local and municipal laws.
Yeah, grifters are bad.
Please. Yes, I hate grifters with a passion.
So with that, I mean, we're kind of done. I know that you're way up past your bedtime for me, and I want you to know how much I appreciated that. I knew that I wanted to have you on the show, and I knew that because of our polar opposite schedules, it was going to be a fucking nightmare to make it happen, but we're here, and it was fantastic.
Hey, I took a power nap, so, I prepared. I took a solid 5-hour nap.
I'm very proud of you.
Yeah.
Samir, I will say, I'm very glad. It was very lucky I was actually able to power nap because, I think as you know, my napping ability fluctuates either between I successfully will sleep 5 hours and be good, or, hey, I didn't sleep this entire 5 hours. I was trying really hard. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm about to have a mental breakdown. I'm so tired.
Right.
And this time we hit the fucking stars aligned. The conjunction of the spheres occurred in such a way that I was able to sleep.
Yeah.
And now here we are. And I had a wonderful time. And thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you, Tempestus, for shouting out Renn in both of the major ways. If you guys don't know who Renn is, if you haven't watched their stuff before, please, please, please go follow Renn on Twitch and on Twitter if you can find them there as well. A truly delight. We're not done, Dragon's Pardon. We have so much more to do today, but this interview is coming to its end. Again, Renn, thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing your community over here. It's always a delight to talk to you. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your tomorrow, because you're probably going to bed after this.
Probably, yeah. I am going to pass.
So
back to the EBDBs.
Love you, friend.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was wonderful being here. I heckin' appreciate and love you so much. I'm very glad that you... I was able to convince you that I don't hate you.
But take care, hon. Now get the fuck out.
Okay.
One last clip farmed, and... Hey, everybody. We're over here at the game screen. I'm going to need to take a little 2-minute, 3-minute, maybe 4-minute break. We're going to swap over to some Lies of P. But thank you all for being here and hanging out and enjoying Renn. Renn is a delight. I love that little silly fella. But I'll be back.